Hello guys and welcome to this week's Switch Your Play podcast, and today I have two special guests, because they're normally on my podcast anyway, but today I have Tom.
Hello.
And Michael, who is back from his holiday.
Hi.
How was it, Michael?
Good.
Where do you go?
Cyprus. It was quite hot. Well, about 30 degrees.
Sadly, we don't have any Cyprian football news for us. For you guys, but hey ho, I guess other
Only
stuff.
if you cared anyway.
Yeah, well, you never know. The Cyprian league's a top quality league, actually.
Name a Cyprian team.
Applewell Nicosia.
Applewell, there you go. They beat Real Madrid, didn't they? Okay, to start this episode, we're going to talk about transfers, like we do every week, basically, until there's actually football. Let's go straight to Liverpool and to Merseyside. Christian Benteke, we mentioned it last week.
A bit.
But it was officially confirmed, I think on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday of last week. Benteke to Liverpool. It's, Benteke, he's just an absolute beast, really. He scored 13 goals last season.
Yep.
We said that last week again. Trying to think of something new we didn't.
I think last week we pretty much covered everything, didn't we? I mean, we said about him being expensive. I wouldn't say he's the perfect player to fit Liverpool's system, but he's certainly better than some of the alternatives that we've got right now. So,
well, it does mean that Liverpool are going to have to change their playing style, because obviously, of course, Rodgers' philosophy is mainly possession football on the floor. With Lambert, it didn't really work, but with Lambert, they didn't give him enough game time to settle in, really. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. But I'm sure he'll settle in really well, and I presume he'll go on tour. I think Liverpool are going on tour in somewhere in Europe next week. So it'll be interesting to see how Benteke does on that little pre-season tour.
Yes,
indeed. Another signing that has been made. It was just happened about an hour ago. Ibrahimovic Afellay from Barcelona to Stoke City on an undisclosed fee for a 2-year contract. Now, I'm just going to say this just to start off. What a signing from Stoke again. They're really building something for next season, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they're getting a lot of ex-Barcelona players, aren't they?
Yeah,
but they've made some good signs this season so far. They've got the beast is Glenn Johnson, but they got Uriachi as well from Barcelona.
Yeah, Joselo from
Hanover. They got Shay Given from Aston Villa. They're making some, Woolside as well. I thought was a good signing.
Yeah, he was on loan last season.
Yeah. And I think, they're making some quality signs, and they're obviously hoping to build on a decent last season. And it's their 8th summer signing, their Afellay, so they're making a lot of players bringing in, and they've already got Bojan at the club, who are at Barcelona as well. So plenty of ex-Barcelona players.
Yeah, they've been busy. Certainly busy.
Yeah. And they're probably hoping that they can build on that 9th place that they got last year.
Yeah, it's like Bojan was a terrific signing when they signed him last year. I thought it was one of their signings of the summer. Such a steal, really. And I really do think Afellay will bring the same to Stoke. And who would have thought about 3 or 4 years ago that Stoke could go play a very attractive style of football? Because they're going to be a joy to watch under Mark Hughes. Afellay, Bojan, Arnautovic, a lot of flary technical players. It's exciting times for Stoke City fans. And Britannia is going to be buzzing, and it's already a great atmosphere. So,
yeah, and Mark Hughes has already confirmed that there's still a lot of interest between Stoke and Yarmolenko. So that's another player he's very quick. He'll go past players, and they'll be, if they did manage to bring him in, I think they're going to be so good to watch.
Yeah, well, Yarmolenko was attracting big clubs like Liverpool and
Yeah, exactly.
But one club that has been certainly busy this transfer window is Watford. They've literally made a whole new team of new signings now. They've made 3 signings in the past week with Jose Cuadrado from Spartak Moscow, Miguel Britos from Napoli, and Steven Berguis from AZ Alkmaar. But I just want to talk about Britos for the first. I saw a video of him because obviously I like to do some research before a show. And the first video that came up was him headbutting a player. So he's clearly,
he headbutted Morata, didn't he?
Yeah, so he's clearly a character.
He's passionate about the game.
Yeah,
to say
a
least.
bit over, but it's risky. It's risky for Watford. They've signed.
He's missed the start of the season as well. He had a Serie A ban, so he's going to miss.
Carry over.
Yeah, carry on to the Premier League, so he's going to miss. They ruled that it was going to roll over, despite the transfer to the Premier League. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's obviously a risky thing. He's not the most. You could say he's quite a hot-headed player.
Certainly.
From the ban and the headbutt.
Well, he's from Uruguay, so they're quite hot-headed defenders. You think of Godin.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think the reason he's actually been banned was because of the headbutt on Morata.
But I just want to talk about Watford as a general club. Obviously, they've signed a lot of players. About 11, I think it's 11 or 12 now. It's, which was quite a few recruits in one summer window. I think it's
10?
more. I think it's definitely 11 or 12.
They got Steven. Is it Berghuis?
Yeah. I just mentioned that.
But obviously, I think he was their 10th.
Anyway, but I think Watford are doing a risky strategy in the transfer window. I think they're recruiting a lot of players, like 11 or 12. That's a lot of players to bed in really into a squad. And if you think of their core group of players who got them promoted from the Championship to a Premier League, it seems with these amount of signings, the new manager has come in and he doesn't think the core players that got them up aren't good. They're not good enough. So he's signing all these players.
Well, he signed so many, and he's got.
It's like they don't. It's like they are forgetting you are only allowed to sign on 25 players.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're not. It's a risky strategy because they're not getting. Capoue was. I think he's the only player that's come from the Premier League.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is obviously a risky strategy.
Certainly.
I think 9 of their signings, aren't. They're from abroad, and it's going to be just don't settle in quickly enough or don't settle in at all. So
yeah.
I think it's extremely risky, and it's undoubtedly there's going to be some of those signs that aren't going to fit in, and perhaps won't do as well.
That's the thing. I think, it's a risky strategy, but we'll find out, I guess. One of the just quickly moving on to another transfer. One of the weirdest transfers, I think of the summer, Benjamin Stambouli from Tottenham to PSG for $6 million. This guy's agent is one of the best agents in the world. He's just gone from Tottenham to PSG to play with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Well, he might be on the move. We'll talk about that later. But that's a terrific sign. Oh, not terrific sign. That's a poor signing. But it's just because of their French player quota. They've just signed him for that.
Yeah, well, he made I think 25 appearances for Spurs in all competitions last season. So he was, he wasn't even playing every game for Spurs last season. No. And I think it says a lot for him. He managed that move, but yeah, I mean,
it's a bit like Fabian Delph, I guess, going to England. Oh, not England, to Man City.
To Man City, yeah.
There's
a lot of exits for Spurs now. They've let go of Paulinho, Holtby, Capoue, and also Stambouli.
I really do like Holtby as a player. He's such a class technician of the football. Such a great player to watch. But yeah, Stambouli, he must be happy now. PSG, win a couple of trophies probably. Get to the Champions League, semi-final, quarter-final. All good for him. Now on to the Football League transfers. And I think I'm going to start with Luke Garbutt from Everton to Fulham on loan. Before this move, Luke Garbutt, should I say, signed a 5-year deal with Everton to secure his future. There was quite a bit of speculation about he might go completely from Everton before he signed that 5-year deal. I think it's a good move for Martinez just to loan him out for Fulham. Just get some first-time experience, and Championship's a very tough league. And it's a good acquisition for Fulham. And Kit Simons must be very happy with his work. Fulham have been busy too, really, with their transfers.
Yeah, I think I'm not really sure why they've loaned him out, because I think he could be a good player for them. If he'd stayed, and perhaps he wouldn't have been playing every game, because Leighton Baines is obviously going to be getting first team. But I think he's like the only competition for Baines' place.
No, because they played Brian Oviedo at left back.
Well, I don't know. I'd see Oviedo as, I don't know. I just thought it would have made more sense to keep Luke Garbutt, who looks like a fantastic young talent, and perhaps get him playing more in the Premier League.
Yeah, but it's all about he'll play it basically every game for Fulham, and that'll enhance his development as a player, rather than just having about 5 to 10 Premier League games and all the cup games. That's not going to benefit him some of his development, but playing 40 odd games for Fulham going to be much better. It's going to enhance his development, definitely, rather than just sticking on the bench for most of the time at Everton.
And Fulham are obviously hoping in this campaign they're going to try and get promoted, so that's kind of the level I guess they're hoping to play at.
Mm-hmm. Another transfer was Jason Shackle, gone from Burnley to Derby. Another good signing from Derby, who've signed currently in this window. Signed Tom Ince, Darren Bent, Jason Pearce, Scott Carson, and now Jason Shackle. I'm probably missing someone out, but they're looking strong now, Derby.
Well, Shackle was at Derby in, I think, 2012.
Yeah, Shackle was ex-Derby player.
So he'll return, but the team's a completely different one.
Yeah, it's a much better team than. Yeah. I think it was under Nigel Clough.
Yeah.
They were struggling quite a bit, but he's a very good player in the Championship, Shackle. I don't think he's a Premier League defender, and it kind of shown last season for Burnley, but another good signing from Derby, and I think, I think they could win the league. At the moment, they're definitely one of my favourites for the league, just because their players they've signed, Ince and Ben Vyman. Yeah, that's another signing, but that's a terrific signing.
I think with the Championship, the team who everyone thinks is going to win the league never does. It's always a team that no one really expects. I don't know, the best team on paper doesn't necessarily do well. Fulham and Cardiff had one of the best teams on paper last season, and you just saw how their season went, and you just can't really predict it, really.
Yeah, I guess so, but I think just because of how Derby played last season, they did very well until February time. They just kind of bottled it, really.
I think they'll finish in the playoffs. There's no doubting that, but I don't know. I just think it's too early to say who'll win the league.
Yeah, but if you think Tom Ince, Darren Bent, Vyman, Hughes, Russell, good players.
But even with that squad, when they signed Bent and Ince, even though they did well for them, they still they were part of the team that declined in February. So
it was a defence really.
Yeah,
the defence lacked, but with Shackle now.
Yeah, Shackle's solid. He's a perfect Championship defender. He's big and tall. You know what I mean? He'll be good for them.
Now we are leaving the transfers, sadly, but now we're going on to rumours. And the first rumour we have to talk about is the proposed transfer of Angel Di Maria to PSG for around about 60 million euros. That is amazing deal, because I really didn't expect this to happen due to, like, I don't know, it was Di Maria. I thought he was going to be a hit at Manchester United. He did like 10 assists last season, but I don't know, he just didn't play well, even though his stats say he did play well. So PSG looks like they're going to sign him.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking quite close for him, isn't he? I mean, Di Maria was like well, I think they're going to lose money on him, aren't they? For what Man United?
Yeah, but really, Manchester United don't worry about the money, really. If they lose some money on a player, they don't really mind, do they?
I imagine they'll probably be losing, 15 million on him.
Mm-hmm.
Around that sort of money, so it'll be a good signing for PSG, and he wasn't the perfect fit for United. I think he had a decent season.
This is the thing, I thought he was perfect for the Premier League. But he just didn't, I don't know, the first 2 months...
I think he was a good player.
Like, against Leicester, he was tremendous. I remember that game so well. Yeah. That lovely chip against versus Schmeichel. Terrific.
But, I mean, there's, I think he was a good player, but obviously it's just, if a club like PSG, come in and offer big money, it's going to be difficult to accept. From
one Manchester United player probably leaving the club to one maybe joining it, Zlatan Ibrahimovic has been linked with Mancunians, the Giants, Red Devils. Numerous reports, and Zlatan wants it. Zlatan likes the Premier League, but he likes PSG also. I would love to see Zlatan in the Premier League. As a selfish view, I really want him to join Manchester United, but the probability is probably about 25% at the moment. But you never know. Louis van Gaal, he's never worked with Zlatan before, I don't think. So why not? Why not? That's what I say.
I mean, who wouldn't want to see him come into the Premier League?
Probably Liverpool fans, really.
Well, true.
Anyway, now we're on to some actual football that took place this weekend, or last weekend now. It's the Emirates Cup. It's actually a lovely tournament. I do like watching it on BT Sport. Little plug for you, BT Sport. Subscription is in the post right now. But
they care so much, so 46 subscribers might go and watch them.
Yeah.
One
subscriber, one person is a lot. We're converting from Sky to BT, alright? Right. Anyway.
I've got Skybox.
Wow. I don't have any. 4 teams that took place. Arsenal, Wolfsburg, Villarreal and Lyon. Lacazette played.
Lyon.
And Fekir. Lacazette was awful for both games because Arsenal absolutely thumped in 6-0 on the Saturday evening kickoff. They were terrific that game. Arsenal really free-flowing football, and Mesut Ozil, what a player he is. He looks up for the new season. And Santi Cazorla, little chipmunk, what a player he was. Drilled in a free kick to finish a rout off. But the most important game of the Emirates Cup was the finale, Arsenal versus Wolfsburg, the Sunday afternoon kickoff, and Arsenal won 1-0. They won the Emirates Cup for the first time since 2010, and Nicholas Bentner, ex-Arsenal striker obviously, played, and he got a nice applause from the Arsenal fans when he came off. Obviously it was a good no goal return for Bentner, but you expect that from Bentner, not scoring any goals. But we will be covering the next week's Community Shield with Chelsea on next week's podcast, obviously.
Oh.
It should be a really good game. I'm really excited for it. Should be a cracker of a game. I think Arsenal will win.
You think
Arsenal will win?
I think Arsenal,
even though Wenger hasn't beaten Mourinho.
Last year in the Community Shield,
Arsenal won 3-0 against Man City.
Yeah, Man City were blown out of water.
But yeah, Cech made his Arsenal debut, or his Emirates debut, should I say?
Yeah.
And he looked very cool, calm and collective in goal. But that's what you expect. Don't like him wearing number 33 though. I know he said because he's 33 and all that, and that's what he's chose as number 33. But I'd like to, number 1, because you are the number 1 goalkeeper for Arsenal, and you will be for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but it's down to his personal preference, isn't it?
Certainly is, Thomas, and I cannot change it.
Well, now Cech has already won 2 pre-season, you might say irrelevant trophies.
Oh, yeah.
At Arsenal, but trophies nonetheless. And I think, he could win a 3rd trophy against Chelsea. That would be fantastic. I think if Arsenal do pull off a win in the Community Shield and get a trophy, because I think that would be good for Petr Cech.
Winning games
is a club as well.
Yeah, winning games is brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great start for the season. Whatever the game is,
especially against, if they manage to beat Chelsea, it's going to make them so confident for the seasons ahead. So yeah, it's going to be
whatever.
You do.
I think they'll be one of the I don't know how Man United's season's going to go, but I think they might be one of the only teams that can challenge Chelsea this season. I think with Walcott coming back and now with Cech in goal, they look like they've got a really solid side. I don't know. I think if they're like a striker and a central midfielder short of being right at the top.
Now we're on to the View, and last week it was kind of called Hot Topic, and it was a pretty shit name. We did say it was a shit name, so we kind of reviewed.
Topic, it was called.
I didn't say who it is. I didn't.
All it picks.
Anyway, so we've called it a review, and it's basically where we review 1 or 2 clubs' upcoming seasons, really. And we've gone for just 1 club today because I think there's a lot to talk about for this club.
Yeah.
And it is Newcastle United, who are currently in the Premier League. Thank God for that. Being a disaster if they went down. And we're just going to have an overview of what's to come for their season, really. So I think the best way to start this is their new signings. And they signed Wijnaldum from PSV for 14.5 million, and Alexander Mitrovic from Anderlecht for 13 million, just 13 million. They needed attacking players, and Steve Klaza has got a lot of potential with Wijnaldum and Mitrovic. Mitrovic is only 20 years old, so
yeah,
he's got a lot. He's got a long way to go in his footballing career, and the future is bright for Mitrovic. Really, I think they're good signings, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they've been really, a lot of links with them and Charlie Austin as well. Proven in the Premier League, he's going to get them a load of goals if he goes. But it just depends if Newcastle end up accepting the 15 million asking price that QPR have set, because they're in no real hurry to sell straight away, because they know there's a lot of clubs that are interested in Austin. So I think they could probably hold out for that 15 million price.
Now we're going to head on to potential signings for Newcastle United, and as Tom just said about Charlie Austin, looks like that he might be signing for Newcastle. I would say he's probably favourite to go. Be a good fit for him. Get the number 9 jersey, hopefully. But 15 million is a big asking price. Obviously, I've spent 27.5 million just on 2 players at the moment. So is Mike Ashley prepared to go deep in his wallet and spend the cash? Only time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, and also obviously hoping that Mbemba, they're hoping that his visa will go through and that will all come out okay, so that he can confirm the move to Newcastle. So, it's more money, and obviously Newcastle, in the past they haven't been renowned for spending the big bucks on their players. They like to hold back the money.
Oh, they really did need a centre half there. Yeah. They've always, the past 2 seasons, been saying they needed a centre half, and hopefully they've got one in Mbemba from Anderlecht. But his age is an issue. Some people are saying he's 20, some people are saying 24.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be interesting when that comes out. So
they'll never really know, because the thoughts are he genuinely does not know his age.
Yeah. Well, it can happen.
Obviously lost along the line.
Especially in these African countries, it can easily happen. because they try and lie to get them into school and all that. Anyway, but the main incoming this season is that Newcastle have actually got a proper manager now in Steve McClaren, because John Carver, come on, it wasn't proper, was he?
Oh yeah,
absolutely awful, disgrace.
People hoped about Carver that he was going to be, because
of his passion. Those people are idiots, because he was never going to be good. No,
he was never. He was, claiming he was the best manager in the Premier League. When you looked at his record, clearly not. But I think Steve McClaren, he's not the perfect acquisition as a manager, but I think he could do a really good job if he gets these signings and his tactics right. And I think, there's risk involved with, Mbemba, his age, his visa.
There's a risk in every transfer, really, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. But but I hope that Newcastle are able to step it up a bit and provide, even more competition for those top spots, because the more competition there is, the more interesting, the league and individual games are going to be for that fight for those top half spots in the table.
Yeah. Oh, it's an initial 3-year deal, but could be extended to 8 years. Sounds familiar? Yes, it does, because it's the same as Pards' contract at St James's Park. Or Pardiola? No, Pardew. I actually put Pardiola in the notes, that's why. But yeah, Stephen Clazer is 20 years managerial career. It's been an up and down roller coaster for McClaren, because of course he was manager of England when they failed to qualify for Euro 2008. He was then sacked. Wally and the Brolly, who cannot forget that famous headline. It probably was in the Sun, because that's the kind of thing they would do. Yeah. But after that, his career has taken quite a few ups, with winning the Eredivisie with FC Twente, and just before he took the England job, he led Middlesbrough to glory in the League Cup in 2004, and then 2 years later, and if you let me finish, 2 years later, he guided them to the UEFA Cup final, where they lost to a talented Sevilla side. Finally, we're going to talk about who do we think is going to be Newcastle's key player for the next season. I'm going for Tim Krul. Obviously, a goalkeeper for Newcastle. He was in the Netherlands World Cup squad when he saved those penalties against Costa Rica. Tremendous performance that was in the World Cup. But he's always been very good for Newcastle, particularly.
He's by far and away. I think if Newcastle don't step up this season with these signings, he's got to go to bigger and better things.
Yeah, I think if they don't, he said if they don't go into Europe next season, he probably will leave. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next season or two. But Tim Krul, terrific keeper, and he's been extremely good. And then you got the new signings of Wijnaldum and Mitrovic. It'll be very interesting to watch how they start their Newcastle career. And Mitrovic got a lovely tweet off Alan Shearer saying good luck, and if you score some goals you'll be a Geordie hero. So pretty simple for Mitrovic, and I really hope he does perform well. And with Siem de Jong too, signing last season, a very tough season, or first season in a Geordie shirt, with injuries for most of the season, but in pre-season he's been looking good, and he's another great contender for their key player, perfect number 10. So it should be a good. I think Newcastle will definitely be top 10 this season.
I think they're going to be.
Carol Janmaat.
Oh yeah, Janmaat is another. He was a fantastic
session.
Do you want to expand on your Daryl Janmaat outburst? Well, he was one of the few players for Newcastle that I think was relatively consistent. He had some good games for Newcastle last season. I think everyone had something to improve though. Everyone was at Newcastle, but they should certainly be getting that top 10 finish that you said. I think especially with these signings, if they're not, I think they've got some serious problems. And I think, I don't know, will they be willing to spend more money if they don't get that what they're hoping for this season?
I think it actually made it clear that he wants to spend some money. He wants to spend money and try and get Newcastle back where they belong, really, in Europe, playing European football regularly, and trying to win. Trying to go through the cup competitions like the Capital One Cup and FA Cup, because they're good enough to win those tournaments if they take it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I think he will probably be feeling pretty pressured to make an impact on the squad, because obviously the fans haven't been happy in recent years of how much money he's been allowing them to spend on new players, and I think finally perhaps he's due to the pressure he's given in and said, I've got to make some changes if this club's going to be successful. So he's allowing Steve McClaren and the board to make these kinds of they're expensive signings, really. He's almost 30 million, and he's going to go way past that, in spending if the Charlie Austin and Mbemba deals do go through. So yeah, the future does look brighter now for Newcastle than it did at the start of last season.
And it should, really. They're a big club. Yeah. Massive club. And that concludes this week's episode of Switch Your Play. Thank you guys for watching and listening to this wonderful football podcast. I hope you did enjoy it, because we certainly did. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SwitchYourPlayYT, and follow us on Twitch too, Switch Your Play Podcast. We hardly ever stream, but
whose alarm went off?
It's mine. It's alright. We will be streaming regularly when football actually kicks off. Hopefully in the first weekend of Premier League action, or maybe the Football League, because there was a game on Friday night, I think. It's Nottingham Forest versus Brighton. I have a funny feeling it's that, so we probably will be covering that on Twitch TV. But also join our Fantasy Football League. The code will be down in the description again, and we'll be tweeting out our code quite regularly, just to get more people. And there will be a special prize at the end of the season. So
for the one winner.
One winner. So maybe we'll do 2 runners-up prizes, maybe. Yeah,
possibly. So make sure you're getting
involved with that.
Team in before the season starts, getting the maximum amount of points you can, for the chance to get one of those top 3 spots, and hopefully win a prize. We've got how many people we've got in the league now? About 15?
Yeah, it's going well, but we want more. We want 25 to 50. I said, in fact, last episode, and I'm going to say it again. We want more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Say goodbye, Michael.
Bye.
Say goodbye, Tom.
Goodbye.
And bye from me. Thank you guys for watching.